Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Point of View talk show. Today, we are going to be talking about plant-based living. But before we do, let's go ahead and say hello to all the hosts and our guests. Hey, Miss Connie.
Hello, everybody. Hi, family. How's everybody out there in our Point of View land? It's great to see everybody. It's great to be back.
Welcome back.
And Captain Jackson.
What up? What up? How's everybody doing? It's good to see everybody in their pink. I got mine.
Y'all look beautiful. My lip gloss is pink.
You know what? That'll work. That'll work. That'll work.
A touch of pink.
A touch of pink.
Let's say hello to Jen. Let's say hello to Jennifer.
Hello, hello. Good to see y'all.
And our special guest this evening is Miss Shantae Stallworth. She's going to be talking to us about plant-based living. Hello, Miss Shantae.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you guys.
Hi, welcome.
Hello, hello.
I missed the memo about the pink.
Jackie. Got to get Jackie for that one. We figured since it was the last show in the month of October, we would represent by wearing pink once again. So sorry, darling. That was Jackie. I'm going to put that on her.
Anybody else hear a bus? Because it went right over. Oh, yeah.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Y'all going to get off of me, okay? So, Shantae, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me to talk about this subject that is kind of near and dear to my heart. So I am a mother of three, a wife to my husband, and I have started incorporating a plant-based lifestyle into our home over the last 5 years or so. The reasons that I got into a plant-based lifestyle was really for supporting my family, their health and their wellness overall. A couple main events happened in my life that led me down this path. One of them being a few years back, my daughter, at the time she was in elementary school, and she was suffering from a really bad persistent cough during the winter months that we just could not get rid of. Went to the doctor, got prescription cough medicine, an inhaler, different things that just would not get rid of this cough. Happened a couple of years in a row. My other daughter, around the same age, she was diagnosed with von Willebrand disease, which is a bleeding disorder. Basically, your blood doesn't clot the way that it should and causes you to bleed for an extensive amount of time. And she was suffering nosebleeds that would last upwards of an hour. And we found, I read somewhere that cypress essential oil helps with blood and circulation. And we tried a little bit of cypress oil on the bridge of her nose at the start of a nosebleed. And within about 5 minutes, it had cleared up on its own. Yeah, so, just these little experiences kind of led me down to do some more research about the benefits of essential oils, and that led me to plant-based cleaning, removing different toxic chemicals from our home and our healthcare products, our makeups, our things that we keep in the kitchen, the bathroom, and just all over the home.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I've heard of, and I want our viewers to understand that we're not just talking about plant-based eating. She's going to talk to us about plant-based eating as well as plant-based living, which is very important, like she said, for our health, especially with the products that we use and so forth and so on. I mean, I was gung-ho. There was one time, what was that company that had
Rainbow?
Somebody, no, it was, and they taught you to, I spent all this money buying these holistic products, cleaning products that didn't have the stuff in it. I can't think of it. It wasn't Amway. It started with the M, I think. It was a few years ago. Nobody don't remember that whole wave? When you had to clean out your whole entire, now I do still love the products like the laundry detergent and stuff like that, because it didn't have all those different parabens and seraphims and halochems and enamims and additives in it, whatever that means.
All the fens and lens and
But I do love the product, but it got to be pricey because you would get it every month, a bulk of it. Y'all know it was like a big
Was it
wave.
Melaleuca?
Melaleuca.
oh
Thank you.
yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
Melaleuca.
Yeah, I was a
Yeah.
member of Melaleuca, and for the same reason, with having to buy a subscription box every month and not necessarily having the
Yeah.
education of what I needed, I canceled.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's it, Melaleuca. But that was
Mhm.
along the same lines of what you're talking about, like the plant-based living, like having certain products in your home and
Mhm.
doing your laundry with certain things.
Right.
Because we don't have the knowledge, I mean, we just like, I love Tide and Gain, but
Yeah.
like my one goddaughter's like, Ma, have you read what's in it? You know what I mean? Because you don't even realize that that's what you're washing your clothes in gets on your body and on your skin, and sometimes
Exactly.
can cause those different skin
Mhm.
ailments, but we don't even know it,
Right. Yeah. We're just so used to, we've used it for years. People say, oh, I've been using that my whole life. My parents used it and I didn't have any issues with it. And then you
Mhm.
sit back and think, well, my aunt so-and-so, she had cancer. This other person has asthma. This other person has eczema. And you don't really link those ailments together. And when you start to get the resources and get the knowledge about it, you make those connections. So when you know better, you do better. And that's really what I'm here to help people understand, that there's resources out there to help you get this information and make better choices.
And you know what, Connie, I should have known. I should have guessed that, because I got some. Not only do I have some Melaleuca in my kitchen and in all the bathrooms, I got to place my order tonight. So it didn't even dawn on me that that's what you were talking about was
Right.
Melaleuca, and that was, you know what? I not only does it smell good, I just washed my hands in some just before I got
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah.
So, and one of the, I did for real. But one of the things that I liked about it was the fact that it didn't have a lot of the products, a lot of those isms and schisms and stuff that you mentioned. It doesn't have a lot of that stuff, at least according, to the website, to the research and so forth and so on.
Right.
Doesn't have a lot of that stuff in it. And folks have had made plenty of testimonials about how it's helped clear up asthma and, dust around the house and having the wipes and, the whole myriad. So it's, so far it's working out. So
Yeah.
far.
So I'm a brand partner with Young Living Essential Oils. That's the company that I use, and they're very similar to Melaleuca in the fact that they have natural plant-based products. The reason that I chose Young Living over Melaleuca and some of the other companies that are out there is mainly because Young Living has the seed to seal promise. It's basically their quality commitment to the customer, where they have complete oversight of their products. It's mainly all essential oil based. So they own their own farms, or they work very closely with partner farms. So they know that the ground that they're planting their seeds in has not had pesticides used in that ground for the last 50 years. They hand weed their plants. They don't use pesticides on any of their plants. They do their own distillation and testing. And if the product doesn't meet their standards, they throw it out. They won't put an inferior product on the market. And they have a wide array of products, from essential oils to the cleaning products that you can use just as they come, concentrated cleaning products, makeup, skincare, bath products, the whole gambit. So that's the company that I use, and that's the one that I can recommend to people.
Oh, okay. I wrote that down. Young
Interesting.
Living Essential Oils.
That's
Is it
right.
on
Now, this is
.com.org?
It's youngliving.com, and I can give you guys a link because I am a brand partner. I do make a small commission if anybody chooses to purchase it. I'll just be
Of
totally
course, we will
transparent with
use
that.
your link. Of course we will.
And yeah, so, and what's really great is there's no monthly commitment. So if you want to just buy one product to test it out, You can do that. You can sign up for a membership and get the wholesale pricing. And you don't ever have to buy again if you don't want to, but believe me, you're going to want to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask if it was a subscription company, but that's good to know that we can just, try some things and,
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
that was it.
And that was going to be a question of mine too. Believe you answered it when you talked about, because I was speaking with some very good friends of mine this evening, and I was telling them actually about you and the fact that there was I don't know if stipulation is the right word, but you chose to utilize products that were grown, if you will, in a field that's been pesticide free,
Mhm.
at least for 50 years. And so I was going to ask, how do you track that, or how are you able to verify that information? Being soil, that's the first time I've ever heard anything like that.
Yeah, so because Young Living owns their own farms, they do that research before they purchase land. You can go to seedtoseal.com to read up on that commitment. But what's really neat is like each bottle of essential oil has a product number on it, and they can track that back to the field, the harvest of that particular plant, to let you know what the conditions were at that time. And what's really neat is like with any plants, the conditions of how the plant is grown will affect the smell or the constituents of the essential oil. I remember one time I got a bottle of peppermint oil and it smelled a little bit different than a previous bottle I had. And I contacted the company to ask about it. And what they told me was, basically that the conditions of how the plant is grown will change those smells. They'll vary, but because they do those testings, if it met those standards, so they were able to put it out, the smell doesn't necessarily determine the effectiveness of the plant or the oil. So they asked me like, well, what's the serial number on that bottle? And they were able to track it back.
So you get these oil, I'm sorry, get these delivered to your home, these oils?
I do. Yeah.
So No, I was gonna say, so if it doesn't, in this way that we're using it, if it doesn't pass the smell test, doesn't mean it's bad.
Exactly. Exactly. But one thing I can say is that Young Living's customer service is top notch. And if you ever have an issue, they're very quick to make it right. So if for some reason you're not happy with the product, they'll make it right for you.
So in addition to the citrus oil, what are some other essential oils that you use, say for instance, for maybe a cold or a throat or something, just as an alternative to the regular medicines that we find in our homes?
Right. So we definitely want to stay healthy. So we want to stay above the wellness line as much as possible. One of the essential oil blends that is a proprietary blend to Young Living is Thieves essential oil. That's a blend of like cinnamon, clove, eucalyptus, lemon oils, and I think tea tree may be in there as well. But this is an oil that we use in our home all the time, whether we're diffusing it or applying it topically on our body. And it comes in various forms. You have the straight blend of the oils. They also infuse it into like a chest rub. So if you do have the congestion, think of like the vapor rub that you use on your chest or the bottom of your feet. They have the Thieves line that carries a product.
And when you say thieves, can you spell like Thieves?
Exactly. So I'll give you a little background so you can kind of remember Thieves and what it's good for. So the history of the Thieves name dates back to centuries ago during the plague. And there were a group of grave robbers and people who would steal from the sick and dying. And when they got caught, they weren't sick, they weren't dying. And they were asked, like, tell us your secret and we'll go lenient on you. And they said that they would put these different essential oils on like a cloth and make it on a mask and go and steal. And those oils have natural healing benefits and antibacterial properties that can help prevent the disease. So that's where that name comes from.
Mm,
Mm.
very interesting.
Yeah, so that's one of the oils that we use to stay healthy. When you start to dip below that wellness line, some oils that we use in the house are tea tree, eucalyptus. We diffuse those, put those in the shower to help open up the chest. A lot of these things you might have used, when you were younger, your parents may have used them in some form or fashion. So that's what I always tell people, like essential oils are not a new fad. They're not something that is just brand new that people are just discovering. They've been around for thousands and thousands of years. It does go through like a cyclical effect. So they do come back and become a little more popular over different times. But their known properties and their known benefits have been around for ages. And there are different resource books that are available that you can find on Amazon or just by doing Google searches that you can find that will tell you which blends to use for different ailments. So not only for like sicknesses or staying well, I use essential oils for emotional support, for hormonal support, for pain, for just kind of the whole gambit. Anything that you can kind of reach for your medicine cabinet for, there's an essential oil or a product that has essential oils that you can maybe reach for first to try to get relief before maybe going for that other route.
The interesting thing is that your doctor won't tell you that though. And it's so unfortunate. It's just like even eating healthy. Eating healthy costs you more than to eat ugly, or unhealthy. Right. So here Shantae is telling us about these essential oils that literally you can have in your cabinet. And instead of taking, the B3 or B12 or whatever, you know what I mean? You take this essential oil and put it wherever or inhale it, or like she said, rub it on the bottom of your feet or whatever. The peppermint, I know if you rub on your temples, if you have a headache, it's one, your headache goes away. But these are things that we're not being told simply because we have to keep the pharmaceutical companies running and rich, And I just think that it's so unfortunate that, why we can't have the best of both worlds? Tell me about what you made in the science lab and tell me about what, comes from the earth. And then let me decide which of the two I want to use,
Yeah, it is unfortunate that essential oils aren't regulated by the FDA. So you do have to, do your research and find the things that work for you. I'm a part of an essential oils group on Facebook and on Instagram where we host weekly classes to provide education to our members so that they can use that as a jumping off point to get the products that will help them. It's really unfortunate that, those are things that you have to find a special functional medicine doctor to help you kind of go on that path. And like you said, the pharmaceutical companies aren't making money off of essential oil. So there's no
need to tell us about it.
We do need to put a disclaimer out there that Shantae is not a doctor.
That's right. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that in the beginning. I'm not a doctor. I can't prescribe. I can't, what's the word I'm looking for? Diagnose or make any claims to curing diseases or anything like that. These are all just my personal experiences and things that I've researched that you're welcome.
Our point of view.
My point of view.
And they're working.
They're working for us. Yes, they are.
So Shantae, a lot of these oils, because they're so concentrated, they're supposed to be mixed with some type of carrier oil. Is this correct? Is that something that you do?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So there are, what's nice about Young Living oils in particular, and most oils should have instructions on them. So make sure if you're not purchasing Young Living oils, that there are instructions or directions on how to use on the bottles. Some oils can be used neat, which means straight from the bottle, but a lot of them do require some form of dilution. So you can dilute with the carrier oil, such as coconut oil, any type of fatty oil, not vegetable oil, excuse me, olive oil, avocado oil, jojoba oil, almond oil, things like that. Basically, if you're going to be putting it on your body, it's always good to start with just one drop because they are so very concentrated. Use one drop to anywhere from 1 to 10 drops of the carrier oil and rub them into your skin. I always say that you can add more, you can never take away once you have an oil on your body. And the carrier oil not only dilutes the oil, but it also maintains the effectiveness. So your body absorbs essential oils pretty quickly because they are so related to the chemistry in our own bodies. Essential oils are basically the life of the plant. They are what keeps the plant healthy and alive. So our body absorbs that and it goes into our cells. Within 20 minutes of applying an essential oil to your body, it can be found in every cell of your body. So the carrier oil will help slow the absorption, so it will last longer.
Oh,
right,
that's
fantastic.
very good.
You talked a little earlier about you were just mentioning some of the issues that plague people that you've been able to I guess find a cure for, or not find a cure, but find a way to kind of alleviate. Something that you mentioned was eczema, and unfortunately I have suffered from eczema since I was a small child. So just from your point of view, what would be something that someone with a maybe a skin issue could utilize from the Young Living collection?
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend starting with sort of detoxing your home. So looking at the things that you have. Are you burning candles in your home? A lot of candles contain synthetic fragrance. Our cleaning products, the laundry detergents, soaps, hair lotions, all of that. If you see the term fragrance, run away from that if you can. Fragrance is basically a term that was adopted, I think, in like the 50s through a perfume company. They didn't want to put the ingredients of their perfume on a label because they would consider that a trade secret. Other companies could see those scents or the different chemicals that they used and replicate it. So the FDA, or I don't know if it was the FDA, the government basically said that you could use the term fragrance and you didn't have to tell us what those ingredients that made up that fragrance were. So now people just slap fragrance on and anything can be included in there. So many times you'll see chemicals that are cancer-causing chemicals, endocrine disruptors, hormone disruptors are all contained in those fragrances. So my first step would be to really evaluate what's in your home. And if you can, eliminate those products that have fragrance. And then switch to the natural products that don't have that. That's probably your first step because like I think Connie, you were mentioning with the detergents, you wash your clothes in those chemicals, then they lay on your body we're in clothes almost 24 hours a day. And they're rubbing up against your skin. Your body is absorbing it. Your skin is the largest organ on your body. So it's going to absorb all of those chemicals. And some bodies can't get rid of those. They can't detoxify them. So your liver really is working on overdrive, trying to detox all of those chemicals from your body. And they will, show themselves in skin irritation a lot of times. My daughter had the persistent cough. And wouldn't you know, every winter when that store in the mall had their candle sale, I was buying up lots of candles and I was burning them every night. I cut that out. And I'll tell you, in the last 4 years since I've switched to Thieves household cleaner and not burned candles, she has not had a cough in the winter.
What?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I would definitely start there.
Along the lines of Jen's questions, have you known for there to be side effects from, I mean, we're talking about healthy living, which can go into healthy eating and so forth, but using these products, has there been any known side effects that you're aware of?
So there are people who have adverse reactions to certain essential oils, just like with anything that you come into contact with. Everybody's body is different and reacts to things differently. So what may work for me may not work for one of you. So you really have to, it's sort of trial and error as well. So you want to do your research and find things that are known. There is a science that is involved with essential oils and knowing what constituents help with different ailments. For example, if you have high blood pressure, if you have low blood pressure, you may not want to use a particular essential oil that helps combat high blood pressure. So you want to do some research in that regard. For example, lavender essential oil. We all have heard of lavender being a very calming, relaxing oil. For some kids, lavender does the exact opposite. They just are bouncing off the wall at night. So it's sort of trial and error. What works for me may not work for you.
Yeah, they put that in a lot of baby products. So imagine a parent giving a kid a bath and they're like, this lavender is not working here.
Not at all.
Because, a lot of companies or products make very broad claims of this lavender is very soothing and will help with this. And when it doesn't work, people are like, they swear off essential oils. Oh, they don't work for me. So there's two things there. Your body is going to do what it's going to do. It's going to react however it's going to. But then also, what is the potency of that essential oil? So another thing that I learned is that a company can put on their label that an essential oil is 100% pure or organic if only 5% of what's in that bottle is organic. They can cut the rest with carrier oil, with solvents to stretch it. So when you go to the store and you pick up an essential oil bottle, it may not be 100% of that bottle, but 100% of the 5% that's required in that bottle.
Oh, that's so ratchet.
Shady.
Yeah.
So Shante, can you explain to us what greenwashing is?
Yeah, absolutely. So these companies are smart. They understand that people want to do better for themselves and their families and are looking for these alternatives. So greenwashing is essentially a practice that companies will knowingly mislead based on labeling, advertising their product to be environmentally friendly or natural and know that it's not. So you can go down the aisle, the cleaning aisle in Target or whatever store you shop at and pick up a bottle. It has a nice pastel green label on it. It says like fragrance free or made with essential oils, dye free, but you turn it around and there's fragrance in it. There's an SLS, there is a tricycline. One of those things, any of those things are potentially cancer causing ingredients. And they're marketing to us because they know we want to do better. So that's what greenwashing is. And you'll find that across the board. Another thing that I learned is a lot of the detergents that are like free and clear, so they're like the clear, physically clear detergents. Sure, they may not have dye. It looks like it doesn't have dye, but they use additional chemicals to remove the coloring. So it's, I'm telling you, there's just so many.
For losing, huh? You can't win, huh?
Yeah, you really can't.
Flabbergasted.
Oh my gosh. And so basically, so when you talk about plant life living, you're talking about in your home. So when you do your laundry, with certain products, you clean your windows, you clean your shower, you clean your house down with certain products. That's what you talk about when you say plant-based living?
Right. So Young Living has a household cleaner, Thieves household cleaner. So they use the same essential oil blend that helps keep us well. And they add it to their household cleaner. for the life of me, I apologize. I did not bring my props to show you guys these products. But they sell a bottle. It's about 16 ounces. It's a heavily concentrated cleaning product that you can use 1 to 2 capfuls in a 16-ounce bottle with water, and that becomes your everyday household cleaner. So not only is it cleaning your countertops, your stove, but you're inhaling that as you're cleaning, and it's helping to boost your immune system. We have laundry detergent. We sell, so, when I tell you these prices in a second, your eyes are going to pop for a minute because the prices are a little bit are high, but they're heavily concentrated products that you can dilute and get 3 times the use out of them. So the laundry detergent, it's I think a 32-ounce bottle that costs about $30, but I make that into three 32-ounce bottles out of it. And those 3 bottles will last my family of 5 about 4 months. Yeah, so I remember when I was buying the Tides and the other brands,
For sure.
the pods, those were lasting me about 2.5 months, and that's about $20 a pack. This I'm spending about 30, and it's lasting me double the time. Sometimes people think like, oh, well, you're using that clean plant stuff. It doesn't smell as good. Like, I need this scent so I know my clothes are clean, or I know my dishes are clean. You can add essential oils into it. You can customize the smell of it.
Sure.
I was telling Jackie yesterday, cinnamon or pumpkin spice is all the rage in the fall time, right? Everybody's trying to replicate that smell in their candles or whatever. You can add clove essential oil, cinnamon, nutmeg into your hand soap, and have pumpkin spice hand soap for the winter time. We have an essential oil blend called Christmas Spirit that smells like trees and cinnamon and just the pine cones. So you can get those smells that you're used to, but you're not getting the fragrance, the synthetic fragrance. And all of these products are heavily concentrated. So you're getting your money's worth. You might spend a little bit in the beginning, but it's going to last you longer. And you're paying for your health. You're not damaging your lungs and putting those harmful chemicals into your home.
Okay, and once again, Shantae is not a doctor. These are her points of views. These are her opinions. So we just want to put that out there so that everybody knows that. But Shantae, I want to ask you too about whenever someone buys clothes, like you go to the store and you buy a brand new pair of clothes, would you suggest that they wash their clothes before they wear them?
Personally, I do. I take that back. 90% of the items that I buy, I wash before I wear, especially my children's. My son, I have a toddler, 20-month-old, who had skin irritation after he was born. And so I make sure I wash everything before it goes on their bodies. When you're dealing with younger kids, you really want to be careful when you're purchasing things like pajamas. So there's different laws in effect that say that clothes either have to have flame retardant material sprayed on them or made with flame retardant chemicals, or they need to be close fitting to the skin. I know, being from California originally, we would have these big yellow label tags on the clothes that would say this does not have flame retardant material on it. That's what you want. You don't want those chemicals on your body. So wear the close fitting clothes, wash your clothes in plant-based cleaners. Just like I said earlier, like Miss Connie said earlier, your clothes are on your body all day long. They're going to get irritated if you have those chemicals in them. And if you can, you want to look
our
for
stuff to the cleaners, huh?
What's that?
We send our clothes to the cleaners, and then, we don't really know what they're cleaning our clothes. All we know is they come back pressed, that bag off, throw that thing on, and you good to go,
Yeah. There are eco-friendly dry cleaning companies out there. But one of the things that I keep in mind is that do your best in what you can do. Control what you can. We can't control everything out there. The small changes that we are able to make, those will last your body a lifetime. Those will do you so much wellness. But don't stress over it. Don't get yourself worked up if you can't find those alternatives that you're looking for. Do your best.
Mhm.
Give yourself grace with that.
That's good.
So,
That's good.
Shantae, what type of things in your home do you have to remove? Like carpeting, and should you have hardwood floors or certain types of paints you should use?
Right.
So plant-based living.
Mm-hmm. So those are definitely things that I would say if you're going through a home remodel, that you want to take the new products that you're going to be replacing into consideration. If you can go with an organic material over a synthetic material, use that. But again, those are some of the things that are just, it comes with the territory, if you will. When you're purchasing a new mattress, if you can find an organic fabric or material, go with that if you can. They are much pricier. Don't go broke trying to do these things. Like I said, make the changes that you can. But if you are able to do research before you are replacing the carpet in your home and you like carpet, keep the carpet. When you're vacuuming, use a vacuum with a HEPA filter. You can add essential oils onto the filter to get the scent in the room or to help clear the air. Not everything has to be, strictly organic, clean materials, but you can make alterations to the things that you can.
I'm looking at I've looked at your site rather, and you have an array of products. And I kept scrolling. I just kind of happened to come across a little starter kit with dealing with the CBD. So I see. I mean, it's here. It's the premium starter bundle CBD extra strength.
Is it in your cart?
Yeah, I can't.
I'm
with you.
I'm just saying, but it's here. So
Yeah.
I mean,
CBD is another hot item right now. Young Living actually purchased, they did a lot of vetting and purchased a company called Nature's Ultra a couple of years ago based out of Colorado, who met the standards of Young Living Seed to Seal Promise. They grow their hemp and their plants. They meet all of our standards. Young Living CBD is a CBD isolate, so it has no THC in it whatsoever. It's 100% CBD. And it's also infused with essential oils. What makes that different than other CBDs that you may find is that the essential oils help to enhance the benefit of the CBD. So our bodies have endocannabinoid receptors within our cells, which basically means that the properties of the CBD can link up with our cells, and we're able to readily them and go into our body. The essential oils bind to that and help our body. It enhances the effects of our body that the CBD has on our body. So we have a few different products. We have a muscle which I keep at all times. I use it for many things. If I'm having cramps during that time of the month, I'll rub it on my lower back and it gets rid of it within 15 minutes. You got a headache, you rub it on your temples. There's a couple of different rollers that we offer. There's a calm roller that has essential oils and CBD that help with relaxation and calming. I use it on my son, my 20-month-old son. I give him the roller at night and he puts his feet up and he rolls it on the bottom of his feet. And he knocks out. He gets the best sleep ever. There's also I can't think of the word, it just comes in the dropper, but it has like the peppermint infused or lavender infused. so that you can just rub it on your body. You can ingest it. You can put it under your tongue and get the effects all through your body. It helps with inflammation. So many benefits to CBD.
Now, for our viewers that may not necessarily be familiar with what CBD is, can you just kind of go into detail about it a little bit? Because we've been saying so much CBD, but some people are probably like, what in the world is that? So
yeah, so definitely. So CBD is cannabinoids. So the hemp plant, which is in the same family as the marijuana plant. It's not the same thing, just to make that clear. It is a different strain of that plant. It has therapeutic properties in the cannabinoids. And like I mentioned, your body has an endocannabinoid system. So similar to your endocrine system, it's really made for this type of molecule in your body. CBD has been known to help with, well, I don't know if I can really even say all this stuff because it's not FDA regulated.
Right, so don't say it. We'll talk offline.
Yeah, I would definitely say do your research about CBD. It's not marijuana. It does not have, Young Living CBD does not have THC in it. There are some companies that do have a blend or a mix of the two. So you want to look for an isolate if that's not what you're looking for.
Okay, so if you're using CBD and you get randomly drug tested, you're not gonna pop positive and lose your job,
Not at all.
right?
Not
Okay,
at all.
fantastic.
Not
Ask
at
you
all.
for a friend.
Definitely. Yep, it's safe to use. Like I said, I use it on my child.
That's so good. That's great information.
It is. It really is. Wow.
Yeah, so those starter bundles that you're seeing on the website are definitely great ways to get introduced to products. There's a range of starter bundles, from the essential oil starter bundle where you can purchase a diffuser and 12 essential oils. I think the price is like $165, which is a severely discounted price than if you were to buy each of those individually. Which very
We having a second question?
What?
She's freezing up a little bit.
Oh no.
So Cap, you said you saw the CBD package on there. What else did you see on there that's kind of
it's quite a few. So in with her talking about picking up where she left off, there's a number of different bundles on there. There's a Haven starter bundle, there's a premium, like I said, the CBD bundle, there's the bundle with the dewdrop diffuser. Like I said, the price range is right at where she talked about, the 165. There are, like I said, the starter packages again give you that variety so that you can get a little bit of each one, and so that instead of buying them, you don't have to buy them individually. You can buy them again all together, so you can try them all at once for different things like that. And yeah, it's a little pricey. And I know that when she, oh Lord, I'm sorry, there's one bundle on there that's $1,200.
Is it the hair growth bundle? Like, what does it do? Like, what?
It's got little fuzzy little bears, but it's everything. But it's got, like I said, the diffuser, the oil, the deodorant, the laundry detergent. It's got the whole entire thing. But the good thing about it, and she mentioned it earlier, is that they're heavily concentrated. So yeah, it may come in a little vial, but you can take that and, like you said, spread it, make other however many ounce containers the directions will have you to do. You can mix those and then keep them on deck for a month, 2, 3 months, so that you don't feel that pinch all at once. So you stretch it out, and I would imagine it's a transition, because we're used to buying well, I won't say any names, but we're used to buying those commercial products in the stores that we've been buying for years. Everything from lotion to hand soap to detergent to food to everything. So this is a pretty good alternative that allows for you to, start to slowly move on over, especially if you've noticed physical changes taking place with yourself or with your family members or even your close friends.
Yeah, and it's just like when you're changing your eating habits, and it's pricey to start shopping at your Whole Food stores or your other high-end health food stores. So it's definitely an adjustment.
Because that's what I was gonna be. I'm glad you and Eric both brought up food, because I wanted to ask Shantae, is her family, do they eat plant-based? Are they vegan? You were freezing up, Shantae, for a minute, so that's why we kind of kept it talking. But I wanted to ask, is your household vegan? Do you all eat plant-based food, or do y'all eat a good chicken wing? Because I could probably do it, but I can't be without them chicken wings. I just can't do it.
At the yard bird.
What we not going to do.
What you're not going to do.
What you're not going to do is stop me from eating that chicken.
Because I need that Texas cheese.
Tonight. Chicken for dinner tonight. Yes, indeed.
Shantae, are you with us?
You can hear me okay now?
Yes.
Yes.
So you were asking how my family frozen.
It's starting to freeze again.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. My family, we meat-free days during the week. One of my daughters is vegetarian, so we follow her lead on some meals. But always eater. So we try to have one meal a week where we don't have meat involved, but we do try to buy the majority of our vegetables and fruits organic, and chicken organic. There are certain products that, it's not worth the extra money to buy organically. There's lists out there that you can research, certain fruits and vegetables that have thick skins. It doesn't really make that big of a difference if you get them organic or not. So we're smart about our shopping, but we're not strict with it either.
So if you say if it had a thick skin, so basically if you brought something that wasn't organic and you're going to take it home and clean it anyway, right?
Yeah.
So you're still safe. Now, what I gotta stop doing is, from watching this, because I put some of my fruit in the dish liquid, put soap in the sink and wash them like they plates and forks. When
you put your fruit in the dishwasher on the top rack or the bottom?
Got bubbles all in your throat.
Not in the dishwasher, but I put them in the sink and put the soap in there, and I wash them like I have a specific rag, and I wash them down.
So
but according to Shantae, I need to use thieves products to do it with, because the Dawn and the Palmolive is not cutting it.
Exactly. So we do have a Thieves fruit and veggie cleaner, a soak that you can soak your fruits and veggies in. But you can also use white vinegar and water and do the same thing. But you definitely want to clean your fruits and vegetables when you get them home before you put them away. Not only will it help get those pesticides off of them, but it'll also help the fruits and vegetables last a little bit longer. One note, those little stickers that they put like on your apples that have the coat on it? Those stickers and what they're made out of, I don't know why they do this. They know that we eat these products that these stickers go on are made with chemicals that are harmful for our bodies as well. So you definitely want to make sure you clean that. Apples have that like waxy residue on them. You want to try to get that off, and vinegar or the Thieves Fruit and Veggie Cleaner will help get that off.
That's good to know. Thank you. I'm gonna go with the economic vinegar and water.
Yeah, I can steal my apples.
Soak it for about 5 minutes.
You know, those apples are some of the shiniest I have ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, and the grapes look like the grapes that I used to eat as a youngster. Now they look like they got muscles, like they're about to bust out the skin.
Right. They were babies when you were young, and now they're adults. So they grew up like you grew up.
Look, those and those seedless watermelons.
Run away.
How you get a seedless watermelon or seedless grapes?
Yeah.
That's
That's just too
crazy.
much.
Crazy. Wow.
You know, you brought up something important earlier, and that is there are some organic fruits and vegetables that just aren't worth paying the extra money for. And so, of course, with the disclaimer in place, was it your opinion that you can just go ahead and do as you were, if you were, do as you were previously doing because of what your research has found with that particular food item that they say is organic, that's not really what it's cracked up to be?
Yeah, so I definitely take that into consideration when I'm buying things. And also, organic is sort of a misnomer as well. People have an understanding or an idea of what organic means. Organic is basically companies who certify products as organic say, okay, here's a list of pesticides or things that you can use. And maybe it's a small list of like 5 or 10 things versus the list of 100 things, but there's still chemicals and there's still pesticides. Post on farms, you know, that goats go out and weed. It doesn't mean what we might think organic means.
Right.
Mm.
And Michelle, I want to ask you, with your family being plant-based living and all, with your children, your daughters, when they go out to school or when they go over to their friend's house and have like a sleepover, how do you deal with that? Do you take your own food over there, or what about the products that they use over there? How do you do that?
No, so we don't take our own food to a friend's house or anything like that. When we go to potlucks or parties and we're asked to bring a dish, we'll bring something that aligns with what we eat. But we don't pass judgment on anybody. We let them do what they're going to do. One thing that we are good about is sharing information. So, some people aren't aware of this, what we're talking about today. So my daughters are high school age, so they have a little bit of knowledge. They've been around this for the last few years. So they share this information with their friends. They may bring their own hand sanitizer with them or their own lotion or things like that is acceptable to bring. But we don't come and say, ew, I can't believe you're using that or you're eating this. I'm not going to do that. Here's my own thing. But we use it as an opportunity to educate when we can.
And I think that goes back to what she said, like she was telling us, fix what you can, like you can't fix it all, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you want to go to the restaurant, okay, so you might eat a steak and a potato at the restaurant, but you're not doing that every day. You know what I mean? That's like, it's something that you're doing. So that's what I took from, what you can do, you do, and what you can't do, we're not going to stress out about it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm going to the nearest American deli and get me
Get those wings.
And I know doggone well, there is not no plant-based
lemon pepper.
Lemon
Like a
pepper.
mama and a daddy.
Right. You see? So that's why I only eat them out every now and again. Now, when I got bring it home and I got to cook it from scratch, Then I do the organic and clean
Right.
and good. But when I want to go to the Wingstop, baby, I'm just going to grab me some wings and fries and keep it moving. I'm gonna
Mhm.
repent
you
later.
have it.
Right.
So Shante, I want to ask you really quickly, if you had to choose, what are your top 3 essential oils?
Oh gosh, that's really difficult. Gosh. Okay. Number 1, I think frankincense essential oil. Frankincense is amazing for your skin. It's very calming and grounding. It helps with sleep, with meditation, just kind of recentering yourself. I use frankincense every single day. There was one day that sometimes I'll put it on my crown chakra. One day I was doing it in the mirror and I couldn't quite see, and I think I've poured like half a bottle on my head. And I had the most amazing day. It was the best day ever.
Okay, buy frankincense. Okay, noted.
Duly
about-
okay.
Look, that was probably about $40 on your head. But you felt good.
It probably was. So that is one of the more pricey oils. But you think about the way that it's made and the plant that it comes from. It's a very difficult process to distill, to extract oil from. So frankincense. It was good enough for baby Jesus. It's good enough for me.
I know that's
that part right there.
that part.
Yes.
I think Thieves Essential Oil is going to be number 2. So that one, got to keep us healthy. We got to stay well so that we can do all the things that, especially as a mom, you got to be available for everybody. And number 3, I'm going to go with Ylang Ylang Essential Oil. So Ylang Ylang is a flowery scent that is also very good for your skin. It's a very sensual essential oil, so it helps in the bedroom. It can be used.
Let my husband hear that one. Lord have mercy. He might
Right
find
there,
out.
Oh, no. I write my grocery list. List. Oranges, apples.
It's a great scent for uplifting, for getting you, in a happy mood. It's great. Uplifting, great mood.
I was gonna say, don't be breaking
So
up
those are my
now.
top.
Right. Ain't no time to keep
Those are my 3: frankincense, thieves, and Ylang Ylang.
Okay, give us one more. Just one more.
Okay, one more.
Lang Lang.
Lang Lang. You like that word? Huh?
Lang Lang.
So this,
Okay, one more.
What about tea tree?
tea tree is a great oil too. That's really good for respiratory support. It's really good for your hair. So real quick for like being postpartum, like I lost a lot of hair after having my baby. Rosemary essential oil, lavender, and tea tree were all really good oils to help with that. But number 4, I think I would throw in right now patchouli. So patchouli, you probably know from like incense or something like that, kind of like a hippie type scent. But I like the scent of it. It doesn't smell like the incense. It has more of a woodsy scent to it in the oil form. I use it as deodorant and in different diffuser blends.
Can you spell that?
Patchouli, PATCHOULI.
Okay, great.
And I wanted to ask, I know we're getting ready to go, but what's a good oil for sleep? Because I need assistance. And don't tell me nothing about melatonin, because that don't work.
Yeah, so
melatonin, because it don't work.
Vetiver is a very good oil for relaxation, and valerian.
What was the first one she said?
We're gonna have to go to the after party. Do not get off, Shantae, because you skipped it. But when this is over, we go
As
stay
it's almost time
on,
for us to
because
go.
we need the spelling of these oils.
Look.
We're gonna have you back on another show.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really had a
Thank
great
you.
time with you, and you gave us a lot of information. And
Yeah.
Lang-
that was
lang.
amazing. It was a lot of information.
Langy lang,
Lang,
baby.
lang, lang.
Like a leg. Yeah.
So remember, guys, next week we're going to be talking about the election results with State Representative Derek Jackson. He's going to be with us next week, so you guys join us for that. And just remember, everything you heard and everything we said was our point of view. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Thank you, Shantae. Thank you.
Thank you, Shantae.
Thank you, Shantae, and the leg.
Lang, lang.